final race of this 39th annual Offshore World Championships here through Key West Harbor. Yellow flag is flying. Teams are picking up pace. Coming to an even start. All 8 boats in this super stock class. Coming up onto a plane now. Green flag is going. And we are racing in the super stock class here, 39th annual Key West Offshore World Championships. It is WHM on the inside lane. All 8 boats almost deck to deck as they get started there. The SV Offshore, the only one back there a bit, as you see trailing in the far back there, is the spooled up racing. But it is WHM Motorsports that is taking a lead to the inside lane as they race towards this first pin. Billy Moff gets in the lead right now. He knows how to make the course really wide for all the rest of the teams. So everybody should be challenging him to beat him to this first turn.
Well, he's my favorite pick. I mean, you know, I'm kind of partial to Long Island people. I'm from Long Island, and Billy's right there, so I got to go with him.
So we're playing a bit of a homerism there right now.
Yeah,
huh?
sorry about that guy, you know. But I got the utmost respect for all the other teams.
I'll admit I'm always partly heart-sold to the Courier Offshore because Ryan Beckley's a hometown boy just like me, so you kind of understand that. But as they make this first turn, there are 2 boats going around the turn. It would seem WHM is one of them. Cannot exactly tell who's on the far side of that rooster tail coming out of the WHM. 2 boats going into that first turn. All 8 boats had a clean start in this super stock class.
They say it's real snotty out there between 1 and 2.
Yeah, the word I've heard today is sporty.
Today, yeah.
That's the word I've heard from most of the racers. It is very sporty out there today.
Oh. I apologize for my misconception. Of
No, you're whatever word you use, snotty works just as well.
Got to be publicly correct.
Politically correct.
Yeah.
Well, in this situation, we're not talking about politics.
No.
As they make a way around this second turn, the teams will be coming in to this harbor. 8 teams on this lead lap right now. And you also will see the CRC spooled up coming behind him. And here we have WHM in the early lead. It is BroadCo being challenged by
Much closer race today than the other day.
Oh yes, the great L. They offshore made a big move there. They came up with everything. And there's your team CRC making its first of 2 laps, or first of 13 3/4 laps here.
And again, that Team CRC spooled up racing by themselves game. That's the extreme class boat.
He is being nice to the other guys. He's not in the mix. You got to let them guys spread it out a little bit right now and then see what happens.
It's quite the grouping there, Joey, through that first lap.
That was a great grouping right there, and now it seems actually that Billy Moff has pulled away on this second straightaway here. Got around that third turn pretty cleanly and has left everyone else away, pulling away big time. MCon coming up, still sitting in second place. Dependable Offshore is making a move around that BroadCo boat, and Performance Boat Center is sitting in 5th right now still. So right now, this is the ultimate thing that Billy Moff and Jay Moeller wanted to see to open this race. They need to keep that BroadCo boat behind them, and right now they sit in 4th place.
We couldn't see it the other day, but I think at the checkpoint 1, somebody ran into Billy, and that's why Billy ended up, dropping back a little bit. He had a good start, and I won't mention what other team it was, but they had a little collision up there, and it kind of set them back a little bit.
As we see that WHM team, Billy Moff, Jay Moeller head into that first turn, your current leaders, and if it holds this way, you're world champions. Of course, holding the world championship flag right now is that WHM team. And they won on day 1 here, so could possibly take 2 out of 3 this week.
Well, you got to keep the fun factor up, and Billy's been doing this a long time. And but after a while, if you don't win, you got to keep that fun factor up for you keep coming back, and you don't want to demolish everybody else to depress them. And but they got some good races going on out here today.
They've been challenged all week. Chuck Broadus, Chris Hanley definitely gave them a run for their money on Friday and on Wednesday for that matter. And here today, they came off to a good start, but you got teams like Dependable right now and MCon. MCon has a shot at this. They need to win and have WHM and BroadCo finish 3rd and 4th place or lower respectively.
Look at this, they're challenging them.
They come back to the finish line. It is the WHM still holding a lead. MCon is sitting second. Riding in the wake of that performance. Has made a move up to 5th place. And it is BroadCo that gets around now. There it is. BroadCo has moved all the way back to 8th place now.
Wow, something definitely happened out there in the rough water.
They have the CRC spooled up. Starting to make his way up towards the rest of that fleet. That spooled up is part of that extreme class, pushing more horsepower than this Super Cat class. Will probably make a move somewhere along the way on some of these back-end boats. As it is now, though, WHM leads as they head out this front straightaway.
That MCon is still, he's charging hard on him. He's picking up a second or so after second on him.
So is the Pro 4s hanging in there tight in 3rd place. Dependable throwing a wrench in all the standings right now, sitting in 4th place. BroadCo all the way back now to 7th place, but trying to make a move. Actually, looks like they're moving into 7th place. The battle for them is with SV Offshore, the new Outer Limits boat, for that 7th spot. BroadCo would, in all due purposes, fall off the podium after 2 great days of racing, a 1st and 2nd place. A 7th place spot would push them well off the podium at this point. So a lot of work to be done by that team.
That's Dependable Offshore Racing with Mark Kowalski running the throttles on that. You know, he's been around racing a long time. He used to race with the Steel team. You know, he's very talented. I think I wish them the best. So you know, they also got Frank McComas Motors in there. I hope they stick with it and they give the rest of the teams a challenge this year. They always want more and more boats coming into this racing. So we'll see what happens. We'll stick with it. Maybe we get another boat or 2 next year.
Here we come. WHM took a little bit of height, a little bit of flight out there in between turn 1 and turn 2, taking that 2nd turn now wide, allowing some of these other teams maybe to make up some room on your leaders here and your overall point standing leaders as they come around to complete this 3rd lap. WHM still holding on. MCon still running 2nd place.
The MCon boat is Billy's old boat, which was a very
Dependable trying to make a move. MCon does still have the inside lane. Is now dropped all the way back to 4th place. Backside of this fleet. Here we have your WHM through turn 3 now, still holding a lead, but Dependable has made it through turn 3 and is making a run towards the WHM.
He really passed MCon there. He's doing a hell of a job there. He's catching.
He's definitely making a move there on that front straightaway. MCon now sitting 3rd, Pro 4 is sitting 4th. This would definitely really open the door for WHM to hold on to this world title. Dependable.
Even if he let Dependable win, he took a 2nd.
Not even making a difference. Dependable could still easily pull ahead here, and it would not make a difference for Billy Moff and Jay Muller. They're looking to hold off that BroadCo team who fell back to 6th place, and it currently still sits right there. The SV Offshore did come through, and they have now passed up the Grade L team on that back side.
That Chris Hanley and really has with Chuck Broadus, the two of them seem like they're working much better together. I said this earlier in the week. The two of them are starting to really just know what the other guy's doing. They're coming along. They threw a lot of weight out of that boat. The boat is definitely a different boat than it was 2 years ago.
They still need to make a move at this point if they want to end up on the podium after 2 fabulous days of racing to open this World Championships. MCon Wood is trying to find their way up on that podium, and right now, sitting in 3rd place overall would push them right up into contention for it.
You know, Performance Boat Center, you know, I can't, you know, believe it with my recoil on it. They're always so competitive. I'm not sure what's going on there, or they're missing something, and that boat has much more potential than what they're showing out there. I don't know what's going on there.
Here come your leaders, back in front of the fans on the outer mole. It remains Billy Moff, Jay Muller in the number 5. Hang on in 3rd place. Right behind in 4th place. The battle for the lead is still highly contested. WHM knowing what they have to do. Their spotters on the land telling them the teams that are close behind Performance Boat Center, your BroadCo teams have fallen off their pace. Here's your CRC spooled up, going to be your world champions of the extreme class. Currently sitting in 6th place. SV Offshore in 7th.
Something happened to BroadCo right there. There was a rough spot there to lose all that amount of time.
We saw that happen in the Superstocks with FJ Propellers. Gary Blue, Lauren Leibel fell off the place even though they were in the lead out there. Clean water, but they may not be so clean no matter what you call it. There's nothing as clean out there right now between turn 1 and turn 2.
You know, talk about that, but it's nice to see Lauren Leibel back. I mean, he raced 30 years ago, and but for him to come back and race it, it's great to see.
On that front straightaway now, you see the CRC, the teams, the Superstocks have started to space out, so now the CRC is starting to make its fun and move up the course, passing them, no problem. He just blew right by that Performance Boat Center on the inside as they make their way out towards the first turn.
They're smart racing. They don't want to interrupt this race at all.
They did. They set back until they had the openings. That way it was not too hard to just get around everybody at that point. BroadCo has fallen all the way back to the back spot again. That turn 3 did not treat them well again, and they are now sitting behind Graydell with the World Championship practically just washing away behind right now.
That's amazing. They're probably kicking themselves in the butt, but something happened out there for that to be running the way it is.
That opens the door for BroadCo, MCon, and potentially Pro Floors now to find their way onto the podium. And right now, those are sitting MCon sitting 3, WHM first, 2nd place though, Dependable Offshores in the mix here somehow, trying to make a mess of all these standings.
And the boat looks great. I mean, for a new boat coming out, it's a great looking boat. It's running great. Like I said earlier, it's got some Scorpion Frank McComas engines in it. They're the ones that I used to run. You know, I'm very partial to them. They run very good.
Here are your race leaders. Right now, this would give your MCon team a world runner-up.
Well, they're all right now, it looks to me. But down to the takes a little bit of advantage of it. They seem to be catching them on the outside.
There's that WHM team making their way through turn 3. Not too sharp there. Took it nice and wide.
That's surprising.
And again, right now, you got to know that he's not racing for necessarily the lead. If Dependable gets by him, he's then just trying to keep a couple other boats behind him. A 2nd place.
Well, Billy's
Heck, a third place for this matter, with as far as BroadCo has fallen off right now, a third place would still win the WHM title. And you know they did the points. Billy is very big about doing those points before this final race.
Hey, he's in business. He knows how to make the numbers work. That's the way it comes down to.
So yes, a third place finish at this point with BroadCo falling off the pace would win the WHM team a title. But instead, they are still leading the race here, the final race of the 39th Annual Offshore World Championships.
You know, Billy's favorite color is yellow, but his second favorite color is orange because he always seems to pick up one of them orange buoys somewhere. I hope it doesn't happen today.
He is a big fan. We saw him do that in Clearwater a couple of seasons back.
Oh, yeah. Seen it happen in Miami a few times. But
here today, he is running clean, has the proper prop selection on, and the weight distributed perfectly right now for this WHM to take home the checkered flag. We are currently on lap 6 of 13 3/4 laps. WHM, your leaders right now. Second place sits Dependable Offshore's MCon in third, Pro Floors in fourth. Performance Boat Center is your fifth place boat. The Grey Dell is sitting in sixth.
Whoa! Up, they went down.
who did?
No, I don't.
Did they recover?
I think they recovered though. I'm not sure
right
who
there,
it was.
going
I
into
to turn two.
Was that Billy?
I'm not sure who it was. They have somebody else went way wide to make sure they didn't run performance. That forced Performance Boat Center, I want to say, to go way wide out there. I'm not sure who it was. There's a silhouette coming at us on that second turn right now.
That's some pretty impressive driving, guys, to be able to pull out of what looked like they were going over. Right at the end of that wall there at turn 2.
We have seen a lot of air getting caught at turn 2. It is Billy Moff that has still maintained the lead. MCon is in second, so it must have been Dependable that got caught up there maybe in the WHM wash. Pro Floors sitting in fourth. There's your spooled up racing team, CRC.
They seem to be catching him, Billy, out there in the rough and between 1 and 2 and 3. They, you know, they're definitely catching him. On the way out, Billy gets him, but I think they're catching him in the rough.
At this point, it's almost a battle of attrition for that WHM team.
Don't take themselves out.
Don't take them out of the world title contention right now. It is in their hands. They are in complete control. They continue to lead this Superstock class as we head into lap 7. But again, they do not need to win right now.
No, just take a second. Sure, Billy's wife June is saying, "Go, Billy, go!" You know.
Well, we know Billy. He doesn't want to. He doesn't settle for really anything else than first place. So.
Nope. That's it.
While he knows what's going on, he has to be smart. Pro Floors is making a move there on the front straightaway on the MCon team there. So Pro Floors looking to move into third place, trailing just the Dependable. If it was the Dependable out there that almost caught too much air on turn 2, he has recovered nicely and moved back into second place. Fifth place right now is that Performance Boat Centers team. And that will not be good enough to keep them on the podium at this point.
Well, where does it come in if NZ comes in first?
If NZ makes the move, you're still going to have Billy Moff as your championships, but that would bump NZ in essence at this point where the boats are running into a second place finish overall for the title.
Oh, I must say, Joe, you've been doing your homework over here on the paperwork.
I try to get you guys the most complete race information as we go, so we know who the world champions are and where the title hunt actually is, instead of just racing on the third day of racing here. Because a lot of times these guys, again, they know the number, they've done the math themselves, they know what they have to do to win a world title. Don't let Billy Moff fool you or Jay Moeller. They know exactly what's going on out there and who's trailing them, and I'm sure their spotters have told them that the BroadCo, I have not seen the BroadCo come back by personally. No, as that actually might be in the middle of the lane. I believe that is the BroadCo that has pulled out into the middle of the course there. So there dashes away the BroadCo's World Championship hopes right there.
Yeah. I hate to see that happen. I mean, they were planning on running with Billy all day long today, and unfortunately, that's what happens. It
is Billy Moff, Jay Moeller, and the WHM pulling away. Dependable hanging on there. And it is Forge that has moved into third place ahead of MCon.
And CRC is still playing it smart there. He's not taking the guys out in turns. He's just beating them in the straightaway, so that there's not going to give them confused water.
Performance Boat Center, your 5th place boat. 5th place will not be good enough for Performance Boat Center to end up on the podium. Need to make a move here shortly. Trying to catch your leaders, the WHM team, who have completed lap number 6 now. Sorry, lap number 7 they have completed. Racing 13 3/4 laps. Nearing the halfway point of this race.
You know, I must say they got Ray as their crew chief on the WHN, and he can be a cranky son of a gun, but he's getting old, but he knows what to do and get it ready for race day, and you can see it today, you could see it the other day. So I'll take my hat off to Ray.
You do see the CRC Racing spooled up, making a move all the way to the front of this pack. They have waited their time out and now have gone down to the outside of these two teams coming through. There's your Grey Dell. Your leaders remain WHM, heading through the first turn.
You know, in that CRC team, you got Jeff Harrison there and Mike DeFries, who's driving. But Jeff is such a finished throttleman. He really knows what he's doing. I raced against Jeff for years when he was running B boats and Super V Unlimiteds and everything else. He's talented. He runs the plant down there for Reggie Fountain now, and he's a very talented person.
They've had a great week of racing so far here.
Right. But I won't take anything away from Mike. Mike does a great job driving. It's just you got the two of them got it clicking.
Here they go around turn number 2.
There's some air there.
Definitely a lot of air down there. Maintaining though is that Dependable team.
You know, WHN.
So the WHM is coming up on the inside there. I'm sorry, the outside. WHM is, well, it's CRC. WHM is the boat on the inside. And it was Dependable that caught a bit of air there and remains in second place. That's the second time he has done now this race. Although it opened the door for Pro 4s to make a run here. MCon is now sitting in 4th place. If these standings were hold, it looks like Pro 4s could make the jump all the way to 2nd place overall. MCon would drop to 3rd, where they stand currently.
Like they said earlier, they sent their respects out over to New Zealand on the radio and wished the guy a happy birthday, and that's great for them.
Con Salamadas, the Governor General of Australian Offshore Powerboat Racing. He's here. Happy birthday to him.
Happy belated birthday also to our partner here, Rick.
Oh,
on Wednesday,
well,
we forgot to wish him on air, and he was not here Friday for us to repeat it. So.
Well, you didn't need to bring that one up, Joe.
Oh, we had to.
We've stopped celebrating that,
Lewis, count on your fingers.
Yeah. I'm going to need a lot of fingers there, Pete.
Currently on lap number 9. They'll come by 6 more times.
We have BroadCo out in front of us, and I hate to be listening to what's going on in that cockpit.
Truly disappointing.
Yeah,
truly
Pete,
disappointing.
You know, the high hopes for BroadCo after 2 great runs, and just that breakdown is tough.
I saw him out on the street on Friday night. You'd think he was walking on water.
They finished 2nd place on Wednesday, took the checkered flag on Friday, put them in 1st place coming into today in the overall standings, and now have dropped all the way out of the race, finish in 8th place, and that will knock them right off the
And
podium.
what is that feeling, Pete, right now when you come in and you're just sitting in the middle of the course right now and you can't do anything about it?
Well, there's a bunch of four-lettered words being said somewhere along the line, but you think what you did wrong, what you did right, what you could do next time to make it better, but it isn't going to change. You know, it's the World Championships down here in Key West, and that's what you want. You want to win today, and, you know, you're not thinking about next year. You wanted to finish it first today.
As it is always a battle of attrition in Key West. Not about winning Wednesday or Friday, winning all 3 days combined. Here we have Team CRC, that is your extreme class leaders, followed closely by the WHM team, still your leaders in the superclass class. And Pro Force has made the move into second place around Dependable Offshore. Emron is still sitting fourth.
That was a big change of lead right there.
Well, this puts
That's
Pro
huge.
Force well into that number 2 position on the podium right now.
Hey,
The
guys.
the boys from New Zealand in control. And this week here in Key West, there is a film crew from Mega Machines. They came down to film both WHM and Pro Force. And there's something special for their episode coming up on Mega Machines, and looks like those 2 teams are in line now to go 1-2 on the podium. So good choice by Mega Machine to follow those 2 teams.
Well, it ought to be quite the interview with Billy Wins. Billy, you never know what he might say.
Billy Moff, of course, hat goes off to him. In Clearwater, they were looking to raise more money for the races for the next few years. So what does Billy do at the award ceremony? He took his money and handed it straight over to the city of Clearwater.
Yep.
Great guy there, Billy Moff, all about the racing, and he currently leads this Super Cat class. Final race of the 39th Annual Offshore World Championships here in beautiful Key West, Florida.
And when he was up in Michigan City, which is a beautiful place to go race, he took his prize money and they were redoing the dog kennel and habitat for animals and stuff like that, and he donated his money there. I mean, there's nothing. Billy's got such a big heart when it comes to animals.
We are currently on lap 10.
Hey, Joey, we should mention this Team CRC that's running out there, a very smooth race in the extreme class. We started the week with 3 boats. They made it through each day, run clean, and they're running another nice race here today. So in just behind all this Super Cat action is that extreme class, and a really good run here today, again for the 3rd straight day by Team CRC.
And they're not behind anymore. They're already out front, I think.
Yeah, they are. They have made the move around the leaders. They were the first to come through. They are ahead of the WHM now. Should see them coming through here with the Coyote running across the top of that canopy. Good old Wild E Coyote. And there they are, spooled up racing, Team CRC. And it looks like he is actually coming off.
He's going to pull off, yeah, he's heading into the middle of the course right now.
Completes his 10th lap and is pulling off now. Almost as if to open up this race course for these Super Cats to finish out these final 4 laps. Pro Force is your 2nd place team, trailing only the WHM. WHM in control, heading towards that 3rd turn. Empon
moved into 3rd.
Back into 3rd as Dependable comes across the line, limping back into the inner bowl. Great run for the Dependable, but it will come to a sudden halt right there in 4th place on the 10th lap, and that may open some room now for the rest of the teams, although the top 3 on the podium are sitting top 3 in this race right now. WHM still sitting number 1. Number 2 is Pro Force, who has moved number 2 in the podium overall, and number 3 is your MCON team. Performance Boat Center will now currently take over the 4th place position, but 4th place will not be good enough for that Myra Coral and Johnny Tomlinson team to regain podium position.
Well, Dependable Offshore Racing, what a day here today. But it looks like, guys, when they got all that air down there on the wall, that they saved the boat, but couldn't complete the race.
Something had to happen there, and they broke something, and it just
yeah.
As we've said all day, it's been sporty out there between turn 1 and turn 2.
Well, we could see Pete on that looking at our monitors there. For a moment there, it looked like it went under, but somehow just great work by that team on Dependable to keep that boat upright. And they kept it going for a couple other laps, but yeah, something had to come be jarred loose on that big hit there.
More than likely, it's probably some type of ignition, the MSD or something like that might have gotten wet and put you right out of the race.
Lap number 11 currently right now. We saw the same thing happen earlier for the FJ in that super stock class. Got caught out between turn 1 and 2 and finished in 5th place. Dependable, unable to finish here today, are out of this Supercat class. That leaves just 6 boats on the lead lap. Your leaders, the WHM, looking to make lap traffic of the Graydell team. As they come around turn 2, here is your 7th place sitters, the Graydell. Your leaders, WHM, being trailed closely by the Pro Floors team. Even if Pro Floors were to overtake the WHM, it would still be world title for Jay Mueller and Billy Moff in that WHM Motorsports team.
They've been racing together a long time, and they click together. Here they come by again. That Pro Floors is gaining on them a little bit, but.
And the race right now for Billy is just to maintain and finish. Into 3rd place now, with Dependable no longer on the course.
And BroadCo's not out there either, so Billy's over there probably trying to do his math when he's driving around the course there, scratching his head, but that's it is what it is. He's just got.
We could help him out right now and let him know 3rd place gets him a world title still at this point.
Yeah, right.
So the 2 boats that are closely chasing him right now can go ahead and move past. So nothing out of the ordinary for Billy. He just needs to be smart the rest of the way if that's going to go back.
When Billy's on a roll like this, you're not stopping him. He's going for the gusto. He's not pulling back. And the motors are running right in sync now. You want to run them just the way they've been running all race, and they sound good. If he's in there listening to them, they sound good. Just run it the way it is.
The Pro 4 team is definitely making up room on the WHM as they head out towards that first turn. Here is the SC Offshore, currently sitting 5th place.
What do we have, 2 more laps to go here?
We have 3 more passes to go by. They are currently on lap 12 of 13 3/4 laps. So they will pass by us 3 more times before the checkered flag flies here for the final time at the 39th Annual Offshore World Championships here in Key West, Florida.
There's a lot of time out there. NZ Floors might catch him. You never know.
NZ Floors is trailing him right behind him as they go through turn 1. WHM still holds the lead, but right in his wake is the Pro Floors team. There we see Performance Boat Center heading out towards that first turn. They currently sit in 4th place overall.
That NZ team, they pushed that boat hard all season long. Not that WH did neither or BroadCo, but they really have really do push that boat.
Yeah, and you think about that team, Pete, on Wednesday, they didn't even make it around on the first lap. They had to pull out.
They got caught up in the wash of both the BroadCo and the WHM team that very first lap on Wednesday.
Right. Changed
everything.
Yeah, it really did. And then they bounced back on Friday and come away with the 2nd place finish. And here they are right now pushing WHM Motorsports. So great racing here.
As they come back around to this yellow buoy, which signifies the finish line and the completion of the lap, they are deck to deck pretty much. WHM just holding a slight advantage, not even a full second advantage over the NC11 team. They have both made Graydell into lap traffic now.
Yeah, they've lapped Graydell there, yes.
Well, right now they're going to go in this turn. You got to be very careful. You got to be very careful if you're in Z Floors because you'll be running right over the top of Billy's wake. So
they do have the inside, and they had made the move to the outside there, so they did not do that. They made the move there to stay because they knew Billy was going to be taking that pin really tight.
Right.
And Billy sure enough did take the
really
third
did.
turn real tight, that hairpin turn through the inner harbor there. nice and tight and back out towards that front straightaway. And the NZ11 team, the Kiwis, made sure they shot out wide and did not get caught up and get pinned down there.
Well, you know, the race isn't over yet, and Billy's the king of coming to the finish line. He'll drag you all over the race.
Billy admits, makes no doubt about it. He turns his 9-foot boat into 100 to 900 feet by the way.
Wide boat. Yeah.
As wide as he possibly can, but as we see, it's not going to make a difference here because the New Zealand Pro Floors offshore team has made the move on the inside. They should have the pin as they come up to this first turn and should be taking over the lead. As a matter of fact, it looks like they are in control there. Here we go to the first turn. Let's see who comes out of it first, but it all does seem that the NZ11 Pro Floors is into the lead now ahead of WHM. Still, the World Championship will go to the WHM team.
That's all Billy cares about. But it does give NZ Floors some bragging rights when they're back over there saying, you know, we won in the United States. So
they've got to do that this year. They came in 7th that first day, 2nd on Friday, and now are in the lead ahead of that WHM team. WHM won the first day, came in 3rd on Friday, and now sit 2nd place. I've seen it before, though, that Billy and Jay go out and do not win a single race and still come home as your world champion. So They know what to do. They understand the situation, the gravity of what's going on right now, and they do not necessarily have to beat Pro Floors.
They have to finish in the top 3, right, Joe?
They have to finish, well, at this point right now with BroadCo off the course and MCon the next closest after that, you can pretty much just keep an MCon back there. You look, at this point, it's WHM's to lose. As simple as that. As long as they keep MCon, you know, they could finish 5th and they'll still finish ahead of MCon for the title right now.
Wow.
And they are already well ahead of that 5th place boat, the SV Offshore. So Billy and Jay well in control of the point calculation right here, as the lead now has switched hands to the Pro Floors Racing. Coming around to the white flag here. White flag is flying. Is in your lead.
Yeah. Billy's just
MCon has actually made the move around WHM as well.
Wow. Drops WHM Motorsports back to 3rd.
But it still does not make a difference in the overall world title chase, as Pro Floors would come 3 points within Billy here right now.
Billy's a smart racer. It's not all about the checkered flag, it's about the world championship.
He knows that at this point. WHM has 3 turns left after they make this turn 3 here in the harbor. Last time they'll be making this hairpin turn, that star turn of Key West. Performance boats that are still sitting in fourth place. But it is Pro Floors that has taken over the lead. MCon sitting 2nd, and WHM now sitting in 3rd place.
You know, June, his wife is, she's an attorney and she's very smart. She's good with the numbers, and I'm sure she's on the radio telling Billy, just take it easy.
SV Offshore, that new Outer Limits in 5th place right now. Inside that one, Simon Prevost and Vinny Diorio. The Pro Floors being led by Wayne Valder and Grant Bruggeman. Getting some decent air as they head out towards that first turn. Your leaders of the race, the NZ11 Pro Floors Racing. 2nd place right now is the MCon team, Tyson Garvin and Tyler Miller. The 06 MCon making their way onto the podium right now. They are currently sitting 2nd overall in the race, 3rd overall in the point standings. Just 1 turn left here for the leaders. Pace boat is in position. Checkered flag should be flying for the final time here during the 39th annual Offshore World Championships in Key West, Florida. Turn 2 has been navigated by your leaders there. MCon making their way around turn 2 as well. And there is WHM also completing that third turn. So it's a matter of just WHM running down the straightaway here. But your winners of this Sunday race, the boys from New Zealand, the Kiwis, Pro 4 Racing. They will finish second overall in the World Championship hunt. MCon will be your third place finisher in the World Championship, second place here today, but your world champions in the Super Cat class, Billy Moff, Jay Muller, WHM Motorsports.
And the Long Island people do it again.
Defend the champions. So we have got a pair of defending champions here. CR Racing defends in the Super Stock. Billy Moff, Jay Muller defend in the Super Cat.
Smart racing on their part.
Very smart racing, knowing exactly what they had to do. When BroadCo went down at that point, it opened the door for them just to make a smart race. There's your Graydell, 7th place boat right now. Lap down on everybody else. 2 laps down actually is what I have them at. Myrick Coyle, Johnny Tomlinson take the Pro Performance Boat Center into a 4th place finish. Not good enough to land them on the podium this year.
Yeah.
It is Billy Moff who is your world champion by 3 points.
That's all that matters. There'll be some celebrating tonight, I can tell you that much.
5th place, SV Offshore, factory billet, the brand new Outer Limits boat. We still have one boat still out on the course here, unless the Graydell did not make that next lap. I think the Graydell might even turned it in themselves, so that will do it for the 39th annual Offshore World Championships here in Key West. The boats are all clear. The Graydell has come off the course as well.
Yep.
Your world champions again, WHM Motorsports in the Super Cat. The CRC Spooled Up Racing will be your world champions in the extreme class. Again, all those are unofficial at this moment until they get in for final testing and inspections. Got to get the course marshals over there, make sure they come out right weight and nothing was done fishy to those engines.
Fishy in Key West?
Never.
Oh boy.
As they come in now, BroadCo, Chuck Broadus, Chris Hanley, great first 2 days of racing, could not make it happen again here today. Fall off the pace in just that 5th lap. They were running 2nd, 3rd, fell all the way to 8th when they came through that 2nd lap on the outer turn there and lost it for BroadCo. Opens the door for WHM to win your world title.